Well, good morning, folks. Tim Ealer here. Moving slow this morning. Still have a fever with the flu, so if I seem a little uh, out of it, it's because I don't feel great. I'm trying to get this video out because I want people to have some information here about what's going on. And you can see we have a lot going on today with a highly impactful snow event through the upper Midwest and parts of the Great Lakes, an icing event and snow event further north into Maine. There's snow down here in the Four Corners region, maybe some thunderstorms down here into parts of Texas. A strong cold front pushing through will bring starkly colder temperatures to the southeast, especially, but even the northeast, right? And bitterly cold temperatures up here into the northern high plains um, behind this cold front, blowing snow, just generally really rough conditions here today. And good morning. My name is Tim Ealer. Hope y'all doing well today. Today is the 29th of December, 2025. Getting close to the beginning of a new year. And hope y'all had a good weekend. I've been holed up in bed all weekend with the flu, so hopefully I'll feel better soon. Like this video if you like it, subscribe and share with your friends. And let's get started. As far as excessive rainfall, we don't have anything highlighted for today. Threats go, as far as threats go, so that's good. But even though we have a lot of precip ongoing here into the northeast this morning, for day 2, still no areas highlighted here on the map, at least right now. For day 3, which would be the 31st, you generally have a slight risk again into parts of the California, Southern California, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara area, Santa Maria, the same areas that have gotten hit by heavy rain not too long ago. So that's probably the main reason for this threat, even though the precip may not be as heavy as one would think to meet flood criteria. The threat remains along the west coast for flooding into the northern California, Southern California, marginal risk for day 4, which is New Year's Day, and day 5 as well. As far as severe weather today, maybe some here and way deep in southern Texas. Not severe weather, but general thunderstorms expected down here. Nothing for tomorrow and the 31st. Maybe some thunderstorms into Los Angeles area. And you go to probabilistic, you go further out. Doubtful there's anything highlighted here. Right, so nothing to talk about really with severe. Here are the key messages for the late December blizzard. Multi-hazard storm continues. Heavy snow and blizzard conditions in these areas. And strong winds and dangerous wind chills expected. Maximum wind gusts in Buffalo, 60, 70 miles per hour. And the Appalachians, the same way. Way up in along Lake Superior, same thing, but generally 30, 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts through Tuesday. Lakeshore flooding and blowing, drifting snow. Dangerous wind chills as low as -30 are likely in North Dakota and Minnesota this morning. You can stop and read the rest of this if you want, but you can see where the high snow totals are supposed to be here. As far as current hazards, we have a lot going on this morning with high wind warnings, high wind watches, all in the either the light brown or the dark brown here, kind of orangish color. You have red flag warnings, blizzard warnings. Let's see, winter weather advisories, freeze watch down here in southeast Georgia, dense fog advisory into Florida, and winter weather advisory and winter storm warning here in the Four Corners region. Just a lot going on. Up in the northeast, we have various ice storm warnings, winter storm warnings. Yeah, so we're going to detail this a little bit closer look here in a second. So out west in the Southern California, In Central California, it looks like you have a dense fog advisory going on this morning, and some high wind advisories on the California coast, the Southern California coast. This river valley here, I don't know what river valley it is, but looks like some kind of wind gap event. Okay. Go a little further east, into the Four Corners region. You show this here a little closer. Blizzard warning. Looks like, wow. Okay. And winter storm warning and winter weather advisories in this area today, along with some high wind watches up here into Wyoming. Further to the north here, what looks like blizzard warnings. You got some, it's hard to really differentiate the color here. Looks like winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories, along with high wind warnings in the eastern part of the area today, ongoing right now. Moving further to the east, this is part of what's I already showed you. But up here to the north, you got blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories, high wind warnings, and then high wind watch up here, high wind warning. Yeah, and now we go further east. I'll go further to the south here. Sorry guys. Pretty much the same thing. High wind warning or wind advisory. It's really hard to tell the color here, but it looks like wind advisory, so that's my bad. Looks like wind advisory there with looks like a high wind warning in areas around the Great Lakes here. Only thing I don't like about this is states aren't labeled, and I'm not that great with some of these states, so sorry guys. Yeah, so further to the east, all along the Ohio Valley, lower Mississippi Valley, up into the Mid-Atlantic area, into Appalachian Mountains, you have high wind warning and wind advisories, some wind and weather advisories, and further south, looks like a red flag warning down here in the parts of the North Carolina. And then further south into Texas, you have still wind advisories on all these areas here. So just a lot of gusty winds going on today. So further to the northeast, dense fog advisories, wind advisories. Again, different areas up here. Ice storm warnings, winter storm warnings. I mean, there's so many different things going on today. And further to the northeast, we have, looks like a high wind watch. Moving to the north here, ice storm warnings. We talked about all this, but I wanted to go through it a little bit closer here into these different areas today. So here's some probabilistic snowfall range amounts and ice where it applies. We're going to have icing today from different areas here where the forecast offices. Wilmington, Ohio, generally from 7 a.m. today through January 1st. Not a lot of snow expected, trace to half an inch maybe, up to the northern part of the forecast area, 3 to 5 inches. Caribou, Maine, I know this is kind of different from far away from what I showed you. This is the way it lined up. Generally 2 to 6 inches through December 30th. Fort Kent especially could have higher amounts. Right along the western part of this, northwestern part of this forecast area could have icing approaching over a quarter of an inch here today through the 30th, tomorrow. And now as far as gray weather forecast office, event total snow accumulation amounts, not expecting a lot. This is through December 30th, up to the north here, maybe an inch. but overall not very impactful. This is where we got the big ice event, Plymouth. My goodness. Looks like that's a higher terrain type event. Almost 3/4 of an inch of ice. That's devastating when it comes to trees and power lines and things like that. So be careful today, guys. This is through December 30th, okay? Burlington, Vermont. Generally 2 inches of snow in the western part of the forecast area to 1 to maybe a 1/4 inch in the southern part of the forecast area here. Ice is the biggest threat. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch of ice, 28th through 1 p.m. today, okay? Albany, New York through 1 p.m. today. Highest icing amounts are up towards Piseco, Edinburgh, Johnstown, okay? North Creek, Piseco, and Mountain Lake. And when we look at snowfall from the Albany, New York forecast office, a wide range here along the lee side of the lakes, depending on where lake effect snowband's set up, but otherwise not a lot of heavier amounts further to the east. Now we look at the Buffalo, New York forecast area for icing, right? Not expecting a lot of icing except further up to the north of the forecast area, Watertown area. Over a 1/4 inch of ice here expected through this morning, so this is about over. And so when we look at snowfall, this is the jackpot area here. Could have 20, 30 inches of snow here on the lake effect favorite areas here in the Buffalo, New York forecast area. Even Buffalo could get 12 inches. Springville, 27. Just crazy amounts here. So, and this is through 7 a.m. on New Year's Day. For the State College, PA area, higher amounts up to the northwest, lesser amounts to the southeast here. Overall, 5 inches maybe closer to the lakes. Almost nothing here further to the southeast. Pittsburg, PA, of course, the lake effect favorite areas have more chances in the higher terrain as the back end of that cold front and the upper level system swings through. Higher elevation snows in these areas through the first of the year. Cleveland, Ohio, forecast snow totals for this area. Chardon looks like to get the most through the 30th, which is tomorrow, today through tomorrow. Edinburgh, Corey, the rest of the forecast area, generally 1 to 4 inches maybe of snow expected. Detroit, Michigan, through the 1st of January. Highest snow totals on the southeast portion of the forecast area, 5 to 10 inches. And the northern and western part of the forecast area, hard to see some of these amounts, but 3 to 6 to 4 to 7. And generally, these other areas, 3 to 5 inches. You can see the different amounts here. Another big area here, and we saw that on the radar, roughly 17, 20 inches of snow expected from Sunday through Tuesday at 1 a.m. And further to the south, Traverse City, Bel Air, 7 to 12. Petoskey, 7 to 14. Beaver Island, 9 to 17. The highest amounts appear to be right along the southern part of Lake Superior here. For Gaylord, Michigan area, for ice, so through Tuesday, see German Island here, expected to have almost a 1/2 inch of ice here. So highly impactful event for this area, a small area though. Further for the Marquette, Michigan area, generally to the north here of the forecast area, 10 to 18 inches in the favorite areas in the lakes. Gaylord, 7 to 9. Further south, a lot lesser, smaller amounts. And we look at Duluth, Minnesota. Tuesday, 12 a.m. through Tuesday, 6 p.m. Maybe some more snowfall, trace to 2 inches of snow. not a lot of high impacts here as far as snow totals. So what does the future hold for the continental U.S.? We can start off by looking at what's going on right now, roughly. We'll just start this at 1 p.m. Eastern with the 500 millibar height anomalies here. This is a good proxy for where cold air is aloft, and cold air would be present at the surface as well. And we look at a 850 millibar temperature, right? You can see that's pretty apparent here with the lower level temperatures being colder than pretty cold here. So, right, we go to 950 millibar temperatures, 925, I mean, cold air at the surface, or close to the surface. You can see how that maintains itself, right? With some maybe resurgence of warmer air as that upper level height anomaly, mid-level height anomaly rotates around. Okay, if we switch back that, you can see what's happening here, right? The system is being blocked by really stout high pressure up here, so it can't move, right? Although it's further to the north, and this is January 4th, Sunday, right? And we move it back a little bit. You see it's further to the south initially. Moves to the flow here, rotates around, and what looks like a low or a mid-level feature moving through the flow could lightly bring some precip to the southeast. And if we look at that real quick, we can see on the radar what we see here. Maybe some rain with they're projecting maybe some heavy precip in this time frame. I don't know if it's going to hang around long enough to do that, but in the West Coast, it's going to start getting hit again, right? So we go back to the 500 millibar height anomalies. You can see on the West Coast we have lower heights as well, but then you have high pressure building to the west here somewhat, right? And we have high pressure here, you got a trough building here. What does that lead to? Generally northwesterly flow. Just a really stout high pressure up here, green long box, just hanging in there. A number of southern stream systems and weaker northern stream systems moving through. And I'm going to go through the vorticity in a minute. But you see another system moves onshore on the California coast, and then gets going here a little bit more in the southeast again. And you have maybe a stronger cold front moving through further out. That's pretty far out, right? Now, if we go to vorticity, we can analyze this a little closer, right, and see what's going on here. 500 millibars. Let's start off today at 7 p.m. Cold front pushing through the northeast into the south. Southern stream system moves onshore here. Relatively weak. You can see it wants to develop a trough right here and bring some enhanced lift to this area. So that's where the first system is with the moisture. Maybe another system trying to dive to the south here. Looks like a cold front moving through around the 6th. Another southern stream system maybe wanting to bring some more moisture to the southeast here. You can see this vorticity remaining over the northeast. But what it brings is a southerly flow here on its eastern side. So if you look at the simulated radar, you really don't get a phasing of the northern stream energy and southern stream, so they don't really give it a chance to develop a nor'easter type storm here. And you get further out, it's very uncertain. So what is the message from this? More activity in the southern stream for a little while, which is different from what it's been recently, which will bring some needed rain to the south, and a few more rounds of somewhat heavy rain to the west coast. Right. As far as temperatures go, we start off today, 7 p.m. pretty cold here for most of the nation, right? Maintains pretty cold temperatures here. You see the dark purples indicate the coldest temps, right? The cold air kind of gets pushed up in the can a little bit, but then dives southward again. Coldest temps up in the Canada still. And in Minneapolis, the Minnesota area, parts of North Dakota here. Yeah, so move through time, warming up some for the south. And towards the end of the period here, really wants to push some cold air further south again. You get towards the end of this, hard to really tell what's going to happen, but maybe warming up a little bit for the south and cooling off in the out west here, which has been below normal as far as snowfall goes, at least along the Front Range here. So as far as the local area here, we got rain showers along the cold front moving to the south, which with no thunderstorm expected, and much cooler behind the front. And you're going to see an extreme difference in temperatures, especially tomorrow morning, with potential wind chills being 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So, right, so the weather for this week, rain ending by afternoon, temperatures falling from northwest to southeast. Tomorrow, highs 40 to 52, lows 20 to 32, depending on where you live. New Year's Eve, highs the 31st, 45 to 55, lows for most of the state below freezing. New Year's Day, about the same. A little bit colder in the favored areas, right? Increasing clouds on Friday with a chance for showers on Saturday, and generally temps in the upper 20s to low 30s overnight and 50s to 60s during the day, depending on your location. This is your little more detailed 2-day outlook here. Generally in the 40s up north today, of course, with the cold front passage warmer to the south. Highest precip chances look to be in middle Georgia, just north of Houston County where I live, right? Partly sunny skies, mostly sunny up north here, okay? Cold front's already passed. Lows tonight, teens up in northeast Georgia in the mountains, even freezing down here along the Florida border, all right? And clear skies overnight. Cold up north here, just barely above freezing for tomorrow, with temperatures in the generally 40s and 50s down the south with mostly sunny skies. As far as the day 3 to 7 U.S. hazards outlook, we're looking at increased precip chances along the west coast with potential for heavy rain, generally 31st to the 4th, and heavy snow in the mountainous terrain here, Sierra Nevada range. Hazardous cold potential into Alaska. Frost freeze, and we talked about that in general a minute ago. Significant waves and high winds in the Aleutian Island chain with heavy lake effect snow the 31st here, which is 2 days from now. Risk of heavy precip. We have a slight risk of heavy precip the 6th through the 10th here into the deep south, the southeast, and along the west coast here. Heavy snow probabilities the 5th through the 8th here along the Cascades and Sierra Nevada, Northern California, with a slight risk here into the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and into the Northeast. Risk of high winds. All along the West Coast, you have the potential for high winds here, the 5th through the 8th, and in interior parts of the West as well, and southern Alaska, the 5th through the 7th. No risk of hazardous temperatures during this period, with the exception of Alaska. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Trending above normal here for much of the western U.S. into the south, with below normal temps looking more likely here in the northeast, with above normal precip chances out west in the southeast, which is good news, with near normal precip chances in between here and below in the central U.S. Right, so 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, still looking below normal here, right along the mid-Atlantic coast, and near normal for other parts of the mid-Atlantic into the roughly the Ohio Valley here, and above normal into extreme northeast Maine, below normal into Alaska, above normal in Hawaii. Looking like precip chance are going to be pretty high for above normal for most of the nation, with the exception of parts of Alaska, the 4th through the 10th. And this was issued the 26th. Will be issued again on the 3rd or 4th. Let's see, yeah, 7 days. So above normal temps um, for most of the nation, with the exception of the northeast quarter here, parts of mid-Atlantic, maybe equal chances, and below normal chances, slightly leaning below into the Great Lakes area and above into northern Maine. As far as precip, drying out here for the southeast, at least according to this forecast, out west and up to the north here, expecting, well, leaning above normal precip chances and equal chances in between. So not a lot of confidence here yet. But for Hawaii, still trending above normal. And you can see here in Alaska, maybe above or equal chances in the different areas highlighted here. Well, I hope you all have a good day. Stay safe out there, and God bless.